Good morning. I'm Dick Robertson. I'm the Vice President of Student Services at MiraCosta College. Welcome to a great new day for this college. It is a time to celebrate. It is fitting to begin this celebration by celebrating the freedoms with which we are blessed in this country. Please rise for our national anthem, which will be sung by MiraCosta student Melissa Graham, accompanied by MiraCosta's Jazz Collective under the direction of Professor Steve Torok.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly slain, and the rockets declared, the bombs bursting in gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, sailors, that's Star-Spangled Banner yet wave. O'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
We're honored this morning by the presence of over 100 community and educational leaders. I want to acknowledge their presence. We're not going to introduce everybody individually. We're going to introduce them in groups. It would be helpful if you would hold your applause until we have completed that process. It certainly is cause for celebration to see so many of MiraCosta's students, faculty, staff, administrators, members of the Board of Trustees, and College Foundation Board here today. We welcome chancellors, presidents, and board members from California State University, San Marcos, Grossmont College, Cuyamaca College, Palomar College, San Diego Community College District, San Diego Mesa College, and San Diego Community College Continuing Education. We welcome the superintendents of the Carlsbad and Oceanside Unified School Districts. We're also joined today by representatives from the offices of Assemblyman Rocky Chavez and Assemblywoman Marie Waldron. A representative is here from the office of State Senator Pat Bates. A representative is here from the office of San Diego County Supervisor Bill Horn, and a representative from the office of Congressman Darrell Issa. We're pleased to acknowledge the presence of council members from the city of Carlsbad, the mayor of the city of Oceanside, presidents of the Oceanside and Carlsbad Chambers of Commerce, business leaders and representatives from organizations in the community. And finally, as a matter of personal privilege, and in keeping with the celebration of the inauguration of our superintendent-president, please join me in welcoming MiraCosta's superintendent-president from 1982 to 1994, who came from Arizona to be with us today, Dr. H. Dion Holt. This is a time of transition. MiraCosta people have worked very hard to position this college for greatness. Last year, we celebrated MiraCosta's 80th anniversary, and now we look forward to a new era in a new year. Last year, we had a record number of graduates, 2,360 of them. And this year, many of them are experiencing excellent and successful academic opportunities at senior institutions or are gainfully employed. Last year, we opened a beautiful repurposed building to serve our veteran students. This year, we have enhanced services for a growing number of veterans enrolled at this military-friendly institution. Last year, at this time, our credit headcount enrollment was 13,171, and today it stands at 13,684, an increase of almost 4% at a time when an improving economy would normally indicate a decline in college enrollment. Last year, we opened a new laboratory building at San Elijo. This year, we're remodeling and upgrading many of our Oceanside classrooms, and we are repairing and remodeling our gym and locker room facilities. Last year, we prepared Student Success and Support Program and Student Equity Plans. This year, we will work to carry out the institutional imperative to help all students succeed in reaching their academic goals. Last year, we began work with Oceanside Unified School District and California State University San Marcos to develop an Oceanside Promise. This year, we will work together to help high school students be college prepared and benefit from all that is available in higher education. Last year, we searched for a new leader, and today, we finally get a chance to welcome her. Poet Robert Browning's words, "The best is yet to be," are appropriate for our situation. There's much to be excited about at this place. This institution has a rich history of service to coastal North County. And now, we're looking forward to a new era of excellence and myriad learning opportunities for our students. The future is indeed bright. And these words of South African poet Kalan Pillay underline that sentiment. Shouldn't we live today in the breath of tomorrow? Now, to bring words of welcome for our new superintendent president, I'm pleased to introduce the president of the MiraCosta College Board of Trustees, Jean Shannon.
Well, I'm going to be quite a while. No, I'm teasing. I'm not. I'd like to welcome everyone here on behalf of the Board of Trustees and to help us celebrate this inaugural celebration. As many of you know, the MiraCosta College District runs from as far north as Camp Pendleton to the south around where I live in Carmel Valley. So we serve all of the coastal communities in between. And I'd like to introduce the Board of Trustees, our Vice President, Dr. David Broad. You stand up. Dr. William Fisher. Mr. George McNeil, AKA Mr. MiraCosta. Our newest trustee, Rick Kassar. And our student trustee is Antoine Stephen Phillips this year. Leon Page and Jackie Simon, unfortunately, couldn't be here to help us celebrate. The MiraCosta College District serves 400,000 residents, And over the years, we have had over 250,000 or more students attend MiraCosta. And I'd like to get a show of hands if you've ever taken a class at MiraCosta. Can you keep your hands up? Have you ever had a parent, a grandparent, a sibling, or anyone else take a class here, a relative? Keep your hands up. And have anyone had a friend take a class here? How about teach a class here? Yay. So as you can see, we touch a lot of people in this community, and it's important to recognize, the importance of MiraCosta in the coastal community. So what has happened, as Dick said, we've had a very exciting year. We just celebrated our 80th anniversary. We are particularly excited about this year. We're going to open our new Technology Career Institute in Carlsbad. And we also are waiting to find out whether or not we can offer a 4-year degree in biomanufacturing. But the most important thing is we're here to welcome our new Superintendent President, Dr. Sunita Cooke. And it's been my great pleasure when we had the search committee come to us with 3 candidates, and the board met and interviewed the 3. Because of Dr. Cooke's overwhelming poise and ability of handling questions and her knowledge, it was a very easy decision for us. And so I really would like to say thank you to the search committee and to everyone that helped in finding Dr. Cooke for us. And I would like to say thank you and welcome to Dr. Cooke.
A community college is all about the students. Representing the Associated Student Government to bring a greeting to Dr. Cooke is our Associated Student Government President, Coco Brown.
Oh, hi, everybody. All right. So I don't stand behind podiums. All that good stuff. Therese Anderson told me not to stand behind a podium. So with that, everybody, welcome. How's everybody doing? Good morning. Yes, good morning. Clap, right? Clap. That's what you do. All right. So many a times we're told to be like everybody else, right? Fill their shoes, be like them, do everything that someone else did, right? They give you all those flashing lights, and you're like, oh, okay, I'll be just like them. Well, I'm here to tell you, fill your own shoes. That's what you do. Always fill your own shoes. Build yourself up. That's exactly what you want to do. Because filling the shoes of somebody else is not going to work. And with that, I tell you to always believe in yourself. Form a construction team. The reason why you need a construction team, because you need them to help build you up and help build your future. And they, too, will help you build others and their future as well. So you definitely want to have that. Be the march to your own marching band. Do whatever you have to do, but make sure that you are yourself. Be truthful to yourself and never apologize about it, right? So that's what we're going to do, right? That's good. So the next part, we're going to talk about blessings. How many of y'all have been blessed? Some of y'all got houses. Y'all got a job. That's good, right? Some of y'all don't want to pay your bills, but that's okay. But we have to work to pay them, right? That's good. So with that, a lot of times we're afraid of our own blessings, right? New comings, we want new stuff, but we want to get there, but we don't know how to get there, but then we're scared to get there. Believe in yourself. Take on those blessings. That's what you want to do. Take on those blessings. Take that little ride, that little roller coaster that you don't want to take it. Because at the end of that ride, one thing you're definitely going to know is who you are and exactly what you want in life. And with that, I speak from my heart when I say believe in yourself. Surround yourself with those who believe in you and those who are going to correct you. If you have people who believe in you but won't correct you, it's not going to work. Because if you mess up, they're going to leave you there. So we don't want that. So with that, on behalf of our constituents of MiraCosta College, on behalf of our community, on behalf of the Associated Student Government, as well as the Interclub Council, Dr. Cooke, we want to say thank you. Thank you for embarking on this journey to help us be better, to grow as individuals, and also be the voices to our community. And with that, I want to say thank you. Aldash, that's Hungarian for blessings, and Umoja, which is Swahili for unity. So for everyone, thank you.
Representing MiraCosta's Classified Senate, Mimi Lively, the Classified Senate President and Public Grants Technician, and Debbie Adler, Academic Senate Secretary.
That's quite an act to follow. I'll try to remember that. But Mimi, how many classified employees does it take to help run a college?
Well, Debbie, since you asked, here at MiraCosta College, it takes about 300 awesome classified employees. On behalf of our classified staff, we'd like to welcome our new Superintendent President, Dr. Sunny Cooke, to MiraCosta College. And we'd like to share just a few fun facts about how our classified employees serve our students and contribute to their success.
Well, did you know that more than 191,000 people visit MiraCosta's website each month thanks to the award-winning work of our classified staff in the Public Information Office with support from Academic Information Services? Also, this spring semester, the International Office staff assisted 226 international students from 33 different countries to enroll in classes. Last year, staff members in the Financial Aid Office, they dispersed more than $17.9 million in financial aid to more than 8,600 of our qualified students. They're a good team. And there were a total of 8,308 visits to the Health Services Office last year. And here's a little known fact. They went through 911 needles during that time.
Ow. The textbook loan program facilitated by our EOPS staff members served 703 students during the fall 2014 semester. That saved a lot of money for students who otherwise might not have been able to afford their textbooks. In addition to our campus police protecting and serving faculty, staff, students, and our campuses, they collected more than 1,500 lost and found items. And they issued over 18,000 parking permits last year.
No wonder I have trouble finding a parking spot.
Yeah. Over $500,000 in scholarships was awarded to more than 700 students within the last year and a half. A record number of students graduated last spring, which of course is why we're all here. It's clear our classified staff work hard to help serve our students, are committed to this institution, and we extend this commitment to you, Dr. Cooke, and we welcome you to MiraCosta College.
After all, it's a sunny, shiny day.
MiraCostans will be relieved to know that I am neither going to sing nor dance. Bringing words of welcome from our faculty, Mike Fino, the Academic Senate President and Biotechnology Faculty Member, Krista Warren, the Associate Faculty Union President and Non-Credit Faculty Coordinator, Joe Shara, Associate Faculty Member in Political Science, and Laura Carlson, Associate Faculty Member in Spanish.
Wow, all right. What a privilege to be up here. We have here, actually first I want to say good morning. Good morning to our community members, our colleagues, guests, our trustees, and of course Dr. Cooke. Where is Dr. I have some words for you, so we're going to make sure I locate you. So what we have up here, 4 faculty members, and we did this just to represent the approximate proportion, at least in terms of head count, of the number of the ratio of full-time to part-time members. So for every associate faculty member, we have 1 full-time faculty member. So we want to do 3 things this morning. The first thing is we want to share with Dr. Cooke a little bit about our faculty, some of the characteristics that she might not know about. Number 2, we want to share some insight from the faculty on what they think characteristics, traits that they expect from a leader of this institution. And third, we want to formally welcome Dr. Cooke in a uniquely faculty manner. Oops. So for the first part, I had the question, what do the faculty think about MiraCosta? I thought that might be worth sharing as Dr. Cooke comes here. What do the faculty think about this place? So in the interest of being a data-based institution, I sent out a survey to all of our faculty and asked the question, 1 word or more if you want, how would you describe MiraCosta? And I put those into a word cloud to share up here. And they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, and I can't claim that this is worth more than 40 words, but there's really is a strong message in here. I think there's a really positive message in how faculty think about this institution. So the second one was, what about the faculty themselves? What are some of the characteristics of the faculty that I could share? And I was thinking we could think about frequencies of degree attainment, years of service, awards, commendations. But as I thought about what I'd like to share about our faculty, I thought about a characteristic that we don't hear about that much, that I think is actually critical for the work that we do here at a community college. And it's actually a characteristic that we don't identify in our faculty evaluations. We don't identify it in our hiring, but that's compassion, tenderness. And of course, a president would love to come in and have a highly decorated, accomplished faculty to lead, and we are all that. But what about the love? And what's our capacity, our ability for empathy? And in part, I think this is difficult to measure, which is maybe why it doesn't show up. But I bravely set out to measure this amongst our faculty, and in fact did so, and found a single question that I could ask to measure what is the level of compassion amongst our faculty. And this is what I asked them. "97% of the faculty think puppies are cute," which I feel is a direct measure of our level of compassion. And I was happy to see these results. It wasn't 100%. I think that 3% reminds us that there's still some room for tough love out there, and we're not all a bunch of softies. So MiraCosta is an absolutely wonderful place to work. And in fact, I think for Dr. Cooke, my guess is that it might be feeling a little bit more like Wonderland at the moment with all the BPs, APs, new faces, the acronym soup of our committees, your 7 new bosses, our trustees. I think if we're being honest with ourselves, it might feel like you've gone down the rabbit hole a bit. And so in that vein, I asked, as part of a survey, I posed this scenario to our faculty. I said, a new superintendent enters the administration building and stands before the door to their new office. The door is much too small to enter. In front of the door, a potion and an extension to the facility's help desk. What happens next? And so this is what we found. So what does it mean? I think what the faculty are trying to tell us is that they expect in part a superintendent president that can make reasoned and logical decisions, but also someone with a sense of adventure. We're interested in a leader that doesn't always pursue the answers that are obvious, that are bold enough to strike out in new paths, and in fact, that's exactly what I think we need in a leader for our Vanguard institution. For our final act of our piece up here today, I wanted to offer a formal welcome to Dr. Cooke. We're 2 weeks now into 2015. It's the season of resolutions, and some of you might have made your own resolutions for fitness or some other personal improvement. I've personally been to the gym more times in the first 2 weeks than I was the second half of 2014, so some of you might find yourself in the same place. But instead, we want to offer a different kind of resolution, and so we offer this.
Whereas compassion and tenderness and empathy and love infuse our work.
Whereas reason and critical thinking, along with a sense of adventure, can lead to magical discovery.
Whereas the whereases, and such as, are where we are and where it is and whatever it means. And where are you, little star?
Resolved that we, the MiraCosta faculty, to welcome you, Dr. Sunny Cooke, to our fittingly sunny Hilltop campus, and we wish you all the best in all that you do and all that we do together. Thanks.
Here to welcome Dr. Cooke on behalf of the college administration, Dr. Nikki Scopper, Chair of the Administrative Council and Interim Dean of Behavioral Sciences, History, and Community Education.
Just give me a moment here, okay. All right, good morning. Good morning, Dr. Cooke, honorable trustees, faculty, staff, and students, and members of our community. As Dick mentioned, I'm Nikki Scopper, and I'm the chair of the Administrative Council. The Administrative Council consists of 28 academic and classified administrators. And on behalf of the Administrative Council, we welcome you to MiraCosta College and would like to share with you how excited we are to have you as our new superintendent and president. As our new superintendent and president, I thought you would appreciate a few tips and examples of how we might be able to support you in your efforts and help you become more familiar with our campus. First of all, it's really important to know where the free chocolate is on campus. I would recommend walking over to the 3000 building because Alkato Wojcik has the good chocolate. She's got Ghirardelli, Lindt chocolate, and she doesn't make you feel guilty about having it for breakfast because it's one of her 4 basic food groups. Now, if you're having a rough day and you're feeling a little off, you can go over to T420 and see Sandy Comstock to get a blood pressure check. And let's say one day you're going over to the cafeteria and you realize, oh no, I forgot my wallet. Well, you can just take a little detour over to the 3200 building and Joe Ferris will spot you a 20. However, if you need more than a 20, You could just walk down the hall and see Charlie. Can you say, petty cash, budget augmentation, petty cash, budget augmentation? Now, if you want the best value for your money, you're either going to have to get in your car or put on your walking shoes to see Susan Asado in T600. Last and worst case scenario, and this is very important, if you ever need a restraining order, you can go see Robert Norcross in the 1100 building. In all seriousness, together, the Administrative Council has almost 250 years of experience at MiraCosta. We can give you a lot of insight about the inner workings of the college. And some in our group are uniquely positioned to give you a historical perspective. And Dick can give you the archives. Thank you and welcome aboard.
MiraCosta is grateful for the wonderful support of our foundation board and our foundation office. Representing the foundation board to bring words of welcome, Ron Mitchell, who is the president of the board and a partner in AKT LLP.
Thank you, Dick. I'm also an alumni of MiraCosta College. And my mom and dad are alumni of MiraCosta College. And two of my children are alumni of MiraCosta College. So Dr. Cooke, that's what I want to share with you. This is a community college, and the community takes this jewel that's up on here very seriously. To begin with, I'd like to thank Dick Robertson for his leadership during this interim period. I don't think anything slowed down while you were running this place. In fact, I think things picked up a little bit. Next, I'd like to thank the Board of Trustees, the Associated Student Government, the classified staff, faculty, and administration, and along with our board members for partnering with the foundation at Raise. One of the best years that we did was raising money to support the students here at MiraCosta College. So one of those things, it takes a team, and it takes a group of people. I also would like to thank, on behalf of the community, the Board of Trustees for the process that led to the selection of Dr. Sonny Cooke as president of what I think is the best community college in California, MiraCosta College. And having been involved with other organizations and going through the process, it's very important in how the board did this and united the college and all the constituencies that are involved. I think you did a great job. I personally think we got an upgrade. Francisco was good, but he's gone. We got better. I'd like to thank our generous donors that made our fiscal year 13-14 a record-breaking year for the foundation. Our revenues this year, we went over $2.4 million. Private contributions totaled $1.2 million. Financial support to the college, which includes scholarships, direct student aid, programs, and material goods, was almost $1 million this year. The number of students directly assisted with a scholarship, a textbook, a free computer, and or emergency financial statement was assistance was 1,613. Tapping off this record-breaking year, the foundation completed phase 1 of the campaign for opportunity scholarships by raising $500,000, which will be used as a matching fund to expand the foundation's scholarship endowments for disadvantaged youth by $1.5 million. We have some major goals that we're working on. The foundation's success benefits MiraCosta College students, the campus, and the community. an affordable, high-quality, educationless family out of poverty and opens the door of opportunity that leads to a lifetime of accomplishment and productivity. I am here to tell you I received a scholarship when I came to MiraCosta College. And it's an honor and privilege to be here and, as we said, blessed. I use my blessings to return back to the college. Jim Rohn wrote, one person caring about another represents life's greatest value. And that's what this foundation is about. That's what the college is about. And we appreciate and are honored to welcome Sonny Cooke as our current leader. Thank you.
Continuing a focus on students, I'm pleased to present 10 theater students who all are graduates of MiraCosta College's Actors Academy, which is coordinated by theater professor Tracy Williams. They will share 3 poetry selections.
And these are our fellow Actors Academy graduates.
The Actors Academy is a 5-week-long audition-only conservatory program in which the students learn a variety of acting skills and techniques, one of which is choral reading.
Today, we'll be performing a choral reading of 3 poetry pieces, personally selected by Dr. Cooke. These pieces are very near to her heart, and we hope that she enjoys them.
People are often unreasonable,
irrational, and self-centered.
Forgive them anyway.
If you are kind, people may accuse you of
selfish, ulterior motives.
Be kind anyway.
If you are successful, you will win some
unfaithful friends and some
genuine enemies. Succeed anyway.
If you are honest and sincere,
people may deceive you.
Be honest and sincere anyway.
What you spend years creating, others could destroy overnight.
Create anyway.
If you find serenity and happiness,
some may be jealous.
Be happy anyway.
The good you do today
will often be forgotten.
Do good anyway.
Give the best you have.
And it will never be enough.
Give your best anyway.
In the final analysis, it is between you and
God.
It was never between you and
them.
Anyway.
"30 spokes meet in a hub. Where the wheel isn't is where it's useful.
Hollowed out clay makes a pot. Where the pot's not is where it's useful.
Cut doors and windows to make a room. Where the room isn't,
there's room for you. So the profit in what is
in the use of what isn't."
What makes fire burn is space between the logs. A breathing space.
Too much of a good thing.
Too
many logs packed in too tight can douse the flames, almost as surely as water with a pail.
So, building fires requires attention to the spaces in between as much as to the wood.
When we are able to build open spaces in the same way we have learned to pile on the logs, then we can come to see how it is fueled and the absence of the fuel
together that make fire possible.
We
only need to lay a log lightly
from time to time.
The fire grows simply because the space is there, with openings in which the flame that knows just how it wants to burn can find its way.
She was born in India. She graduated from American University in Washington, D.C. with a baccalaureate degree. During that time, she served as a resident assistant in the dormitories. Good student services roots. She earned a PhD in biology at Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. She was a professor of biology from 1995 to 2005. She was director of the Biotechnology Institute, Dean of Natural Sciences and Health Professions, and Associate Vice Chancellor for Workforce Development, all in the Lone Star Community College system in Houston, Texas. She has most recently been president of Grossmont College. Her higher education experience includes 13 years of teaching and 15 years of administrative service. She started her teaching career as an associate faculty member at a university in Houston and continues to teach in the doctoral program for community college leaders at San Diego State University. She likes to read. She hikes with her dog, endearing her to all MiraCosta dog lovers. She likes to spend time with her family. She brings to us exceptional educational credentials, warmth, and great enthusiasm for MiraCosta College. Join me in welcoming to MiraCosta Dr. Sunny Cooke.
Nice treat. What a nice treat. That's probably just exactly the right moment to have a standing ovation before you've ever opened your mouth, right? So I appreciate it. I will just tell you that I will always be honest with you, and I would rather be sitting in that seat back there listening to faculty, staff, and students perform and administrators greet me than I would to stand up here. So let's be perfectly honest. I was having more fun back there with you. But I do want to recognize, Dick talked about my family, and my family is here with me. My husband of 29 years, Paul, is a man of great patience. And my son, Dylan, who's 16 going on 30, is back there. And my sister, Vanita, who came in from Palm Springs last night to be a part of this, is here with me also. So I do want to thank them for their support, but also for their great patience, because I'm not an easy person to live with most times. I want to thank the Board of Trustees for this opportunity as well. I want to thank our community members that are here, our foundation supporters, our alumni of family and family of alumni and so forth. Also our elected officials and their representatives, our partners in education from K-12 all the way through university. And my dear, dear colleagues and friends from SEDICA, the San Diego and Imperial Counties Community Colleges Association, thank you for making the time to be here. And absolutely last but not least, the amazing faculty, staff, administrators, and students of MiraCosta College. Thank you for being here this morning. So let me start by telling you heard a little bit from Dick about my biography. And that tells you a little bit of what I've done.
and you can read about it in the program as well. But I believe that leadership is about relationships. And so I think it's important for you to know who I am and what I stand for as I begin to work side by side with you here at the college. And I think the best way for me to convey that to you is really through a story. And that story begins with my parents, Matthew and Anna Verghese, who have both passed on recently, but they were born in India and spent much of their adult life in India. And they were amazing professional people. They had both dedicated themselves to service, my mother through healthcare and my father through education. My father was a college professor who taught British literature. And my mother was a registered nurse who spent many, many years by the bedside, but then became an administrator in a hospital where she was really a chief nursing officer in a hospital. And this was in the late 50s and 60s, and the two of them had a commuter marriage. They both lived in two different cities, which is, can you imagine in the 1950s and 60s here, if that were to happen, and much less that they were in India. So they were remarkable people and very progressive. And they had 3 children, and the next photo shows you those 3 children. I'm in the center. I'm the youngest in my family. That may explain a lot to you about how I am. My older sister is on one side, my brother's on the other side. And this is a photo of us in India. And we recall life. My parents lived a very simple life of gratitude and generosity. And by that I mean, here's an illustration of that. When we had birthday parties in India, it was never about people coming to our house and giving us gifts and celebrating us. It was an opportunity for my parents to open up their home to all of the children in our community, many of whom had very little in their lives. We would bring them to our home, we would feed them, we would make sure that they had an amazing experience, one that they might not otherwise have. And that's what I mean by simplicity and gratitude and a generosity of spirit. Now, when I was 5 years old, my mother was recruited to be a nurse in the United States. And so they packed us all up and they moved to Dallas, Texas. Yeah, I heard that snicker, which is why I root for the Dallas Cowboys. But at that time, the Indian government had a policy in place that only allowed $8 per person to leave the country. So my family of 5, with $8 per person, arrived in Dallas with how many dollars to our pocket? Let's hear it for the math faculty. $40 in our pockets. That's what we came to the United States with. And our first home in the United States was in a YMCA camp in a cabin where we lived until my mother's salary could we could save up enough money for first month's rent and utility deposit and furniture and all the stuff that you have to begin a new life. And so that taught us a lot about determination, humility, persistence, and resilience. And at the age of 5, I think the next photo will show you, I kind of had similar hair back then, didn't I? I used to go to half a day of kindergarten, and then I would come home, and the nurses who my mother worked with, they would all have to get dressed and get transportation to the hospital to be ready for their 3 to 11 shift. And the fathers would not yet be home from work, and the older siblings that we all had would not be home from school yet because they went to school for a full day. And so I, at the age of 5, was left with all the younger children to take care of. So I learned responsibility at a very early age. I learned to take care of people and to keep them safe and to be responsible for them. And I'm really clear that if that were to happen today, Child Protective Services would be called, right? But back in the day, that's how we did it. So that's not a bad thing to have learned at an early age. growing up in our home, we really did not have a lot of toys or games. And I think we're on to the next slide that shows you that my parents kind of made us all learn an instrument. And I don't want to get anybody excited because I don't think any of us mastered an instrument. And some of us tried more than once to master an instrument and never did get it. But you can see that we each had to learn an instrument. And though we didn't have a lot of toys or games in our house, my father had invested in a whole set of the Encyclopedia Britannica. Now, for those of you that are young enough to not know what that means, and that's my son, and maybe Coco, before there were search engines, before there was Wikipedia, this is how you learned about the world. You had leather-bound books that were usually at the public library. My father had a set in our house. And this is how you would learn about the world. You would learn about things and how they worked and what was happening in the world. This is how you would look things up. It was in a leather-bound book. So we were brought up as learners. We were always in an environment where we would learn. We always went to the public library and checked out books. And so as I looked back, as I became the age that my parents were when they moved to the United States, I asked myself the question, who in their right mind would leave perfectly fulfilling jobs and careers and family and social networks, a wonderful life that they had in India, who would leave that all behind along with all their belongings and what they had to come to the United States with their 3 children and start all over again? And here's what I've pieced together. My parents lived in a culture in India where there was a very established caste system. So people were born into a certain socioeconomic class, and that's what defined their future. Their whole fate was written for them. Who they might marry, what education they might, if they were lucky, have, what they might earn, what jobs they might hold, that was all determined at the moment of birth, depending upon your socioeconomic class. And you could not marry your way out of that. You could not educate your way out of that. You could not earn your way out of that. That was your fate in life. And my parents fundamentally believed in a different reality. They believed that all humans had certain basic rights and needed things to thrive. And among those things was opportunity and hope. And they looked at the United States as a country that provided that for everyone. And they looked at a country, the United States, that had the best education system in the world. And so they gave up everything to come to the United States, where they looked at it as a land of opportunity for all people, and where their kids, us, the 3 of us, could participate in the best education system in the world. And that is exactly what happened. All 3 of us went and got great education, and we're all doing fulfilling work that is meaningful to us and that we love and we enjoy. And so I have to say to you, the next slide sort of sums up what I believe, and that is that I have been given much. I am the beneficiary of a great deal. I have had great opportunities. I have had the opportunity for a great education. And I have had the opportunity to be part of a delegation on behalf of the United States State Department and the U.S. Indian government to try to, the Indian government and the U.S. State Department to go back to my country of birth to try to take the community college mission of equity and access back to them. Even in this day and age, the colleges and universities within India only have capacity for the top 10% of the high school graduating class. So the bottom 90%, so let me say that again, the bottom 90%. How many of you would have been in the bottom 90% of your class? Okay, a lot of us. Your options for training and education and job prospects, even to this day in India, are quite limited. So it was like life came full circle for me to be able to have participated in all that I did in this country and then to be able to try to take the community college mission of access and equity back to my birth country. You can also imagine in the next slide how important it is that I stand at the helm of an organization that makes a difference in people's lives every single day. And that's our remarkable California community colleges. It's an amazing thing when your life experiences, all that you believe and you value, completely align with your life's calling. And you have the remarkable opportunity to do what you were called to this earth to do each and every single day. That doesn't sound like work to me. So when I come to work every day, it's not about work, it's not a job. It is an opportunity to really, as I think Ron mentioned, to give back some of what you've received and to keep doors open, create opportunities, and help students find their educational pathway to their best future. And in California, more than anywhere else, we do that in a remarkable way. We keep our doors open for everyone. So, you might now say, okay, that's all great. That explains why you became a California Community College faculty member and, president and all of that, but why did you choose MiraCosta? And I certainly had great reasons for applying for the job and was thrilled to be selected. But and I'll share that with you. No, it's not a big secret. I'll share that with you. But I thought it would be kind of fun to ask many of you, and Mike, you already did this. You already kind of asked folks what it is they love about MiraCosta. But I asked Cheryl Broom and her team to ask many of you that work at the college what it is that you love about MiraCosta and what makes it special. So let's watch along and see what they had to say.
I love MiraCosta. I love working with the students. I love our small class sizes.
I love my supervisors that I work for. I love my my coworkers.
I love my colleagues. I love my dean. I love the classified staff that support us so well here.
I love the environment. I love the people, and I love my job. There's nothing that would ever make me want to leave my job at all. They say when you love what you do, you'll never work another day in your life, and that phrase definitely applies to me.
I guess you could say I never really left because I was a student and then working at the same time. I never really left, so I've been here in some capacity since 1999.
I thought I was going to be here for a year, 2 or 3 years max, and now I think I'm going on 13. So.
I can't think of going anyplace else. MiraCosta is wonderful. What better? I want to retire from MiraCosta.
Well, next semester, spring, is my last semester, so that's about as long as I'll be staying.
Coming here to MiraCosta, it's really blown away all my expectations.
I love that we are so student-oriented and so focused on student success. And I think that's the way it should be.
I think students feel they can go to a service and get help and find people that will go the extra mile for them. You know, we get students from other schools, obviously, other community colleges, and I get the sense that we are doing our jobs really well here from the student's perspective, and I appreciate that.
This college has a family-oriented environment. It's not business-oriented. It's not come, punch the clock, and leave. You know, you can really get to know your counselors, your professors, administrators. They really care about your future, and they're willing to take the time to make sure you're on the right track.
people that I work with here are really, really smart. They're very dedicated. They have a lot of energy. They're really conscientious, students first. Just all the things that I believe in myself professionally seems to be a shared vision by everybody that I work with.
The people I work with are fabulous. I have a great team of administrators. My staff here in the office is wonderful, and the faculty are great, and they all really try to do their best. They're dedicated and they're fun to work with.
Everyone genuinely wants to be here and wants to work with our students, and that is actually unique. I've worked at different colleges, I've worked on different campuses, different schools, and the fact that everyone is just so genuinely happy to be here, really, you can feel that all the way through to the students. They really appreciate the services that they're getting.
You could feel it's very positive atmosphere no matter where you go in the district. The people are great. You know, you have a lot of great people working here, and it's a good place to work.
So you heard the theme of amazing people, faculty, staff, and administrators that really care about their students, that are dedicated to their students and their student success. You heard about a family or a really close environment and a group of people, and that's definitely what I found to be true here. There are a number of people that are really involved in the governance, the planning, the institutional effectiveness that go on at this college, and that's a really good thing. That means that you care about this organization and that you're willing to spend your time, your talents, your energy, and share your ideas to make this a better institution. One of the things that makes MiraCosta somewhat unique in California community colleges is the way that we're funded. So unlike other California community colleges, we do not have to focus on an enrollment target that is set for us by Sacramento. We have the opportunity to grow in a very strategic and deliberate way to make sure that we're meeting the needs of our individuals in our community, our business, and our industry needs, and to do that in a very strategic way to meet those needs. We also have the opportunity to focus on the quality of all of the interactions that we have with students. So that is a remarkable and somewhat unique thing about MiraCosta. You also seem to take great pride in the work that you do. So that means you really care about your work. You do your best every day, and you take pride in that. And as an added bonus for me, I think somebody alluded to this, I get to go from having one boss to having 7 bosses. And you know who you are. But these are people that so much care about this institution and are so very proud of what goes on here. So it's going to be a pleasure to work with them. I think we need to focus a little bit on what we're looking at just ahead of us. And so as you look into the crystal ball and you think, what's coming in the next couple of years, what do we need to focus on? Again, let's hear what some of your colleagues had to say in a short video.
I see continuing to just get better and better. I think we're on the verge of really embracing technology and using it in a way that really serves the students better.
I see more students, improved facilities, and baccalaureate degrees.
I see MiraCosta having an amazing new student center, which is to the right of the administration building. That project would be awesome. But other than that, I see the population growing from around 13 to 14,000 to probably around 20 to 21.
I see us getting just better in terms of growing all of our programs. I see the arts becoming even more vibrant and more fleshed out in terms of the programs.
I see us as one of the vanguard institutions in the state, and I think I see us going nowhere but up.
In all honesty, all I can really do from now on is just grow and just pretty much be one of the most popular community colleges in the nation.
So you heard about student success and continuing to do better and better, this continuous improvement that continues to make us a better institution. You heard about growth, so very deliberate and strategic and planned growth. You heard throughout the segments about the need to focus on technology and infrastructure and facilities that really make for an exceptional learning environment here at MiraCosta College. And this focus on student success all the way along. And I've got to say, community colleges have never known more prominence. We are at the center of national discussions and statewide discussions. We've never been more known for what we do. And just last week, you may have heard that President Obama talked about how crucial the first 2 years of community college was, so crucial that he'd like to make it free for those that are serious about pursuing an education. And you heard our governor released a proposed budget for next year that very, very strongly supports our community college. So there's no doubt that we have the confidence of our taxpayers and our elected officials. But with that comes accountability. So there are many, many ways that people want to measure what we do. They want to put numbers to what we do. And like it or not, it matters. We're going to have to focus on metrics that matter to our students and matter to us so that we can continually try to do better for our students and our community. But the story cannot be told in numbers alone. We have to tell that story both quantitatively and qualitatively. We have to tell it in numbers, and we have to tell it in the stories of success, the success of our students. Students like Pedro Ramos, who if you looked at the numbers, he would be counted as a failure for MiraCosta College because he did not finish in a discrete unit of time. It took Pedro 16 years to finish his undergraduate degree, and that's because he battled poverty. He worked 2 jobs while he was going to school. He battled illness. He battled a learning disability. He had bad influences in his life. And he struggled with some of his coursework. In fact, he failed some of his courses, and he had to retake them. So by the numbers, Pedro would be counted as a failure for us. But what Pedro has overcome in those 16 years and what he has achieved, I don't think that anybody would say is a failure. I think it's a remarkable celebration. Yeah, I think it's just really And there are stories about Richard Huizar, who is a very bright and talented young man who came to MiraCosta College to begin his education. And he came here because he could not afford to be directly at a university just out of high school. And because of his success at MiraCosta College, he now is at MIT on a full-ride scholarship. So that's a story the numbers don't tell. So we have to focus on the metrics that matter. We have to tell our story over and over again. And all of that work that we are doing in student success, all of the work that we have already done in governance and institutional effectiveness and in planning will serve us well as we look down the road in 2016 at our upcoming accreditation visit. So we'll be doing our self-evaluation. We'll be preparing and making the final modifications and tweaks on our processes and our documentation so that we're fully ready for the fall 2016 visit. And on a really high note as we look forward, we have brought on numerous staff members that we were able to make a part of the MiraCosta family. We brought them on in the fall. We'll continue to hire some staff through the spring. And we get the opportunity this spring to select and identify 17 new full-time faculty that will join us next fall. So, I'm big on asking for advice and getting your input and your perspective. And I started that process before I even applied for this job. And I've looked at, I've asked lots of people for their input and advice, and I will continue to do that. You'll find that not only am I a truth teller, but I'm going to ask a lot of you to tell me the truth as well. And so let me share with you some of the advice that I've gotten recently.
I learned a long time ago to be careful about what advice to give anybody, but the best advice I could give you is listen to some of the folks that are here. They really do have the best interest of the students at heart.
I think the people here at the CLC would like you to know, if there's one thing that you would want to know about MiraCosta, about the CLC specifically, is that we're an eating crowd. If you want to win us over, bring food.
I would advise Dr. Cooke to go out into the community and get to know everybody here on campus. Come meet this guy in the nursing department.
I will not be outdone by the nursing department, period.
There's a lot of love here. It's fun. Make sure you visit Headley Park when, things get challenging and, work is, the nature of work.
One piece of advice I'll give you is don't talk about palm trees.
Listen to the faculty. We are in there every day with the students, so we have a pretty good idea of what's working and what's not.
Nachos. Any party we have, nachos is a must. It's not a party if there's no nachos.
So when you hand somebody the microphone, you never know what they're going to say, but you have to listen anyway. So you can see the advice I've gotten, and it is good advice. I'll be following some of that. So if I show up with nachos, you'll know why. I do want to say to you, I have so much enjoyed the warm welcome that I've received. I love the sense of humor that I saw today. We're going to have a lot of fun together. We've got important work to do, but that doesn't mean we can't enjoy the work that we do, and we can't enjoy each other and care for each other along the way. So I've been very touched by your warm sentiments of welcome. I want to share with you 3 that I think will help put you in my shoes as you see how warm and welcoming it feels to join your college.
Welcome, Dr. Cooke. You are going to love it here. Everyone here they're simply fantastic. We have a great group of people, and I think that you're really going to enjoy working with everyone.
Well, we would like to welcome you to this wonderful campus. I think you find everybody very nice here, and please walk around and meet us. We'll be happy to meet you too. And most welcome to this campus, this beautiful campus.
So Dr. Cooke, on behalf of all of the students that all of us serve here at MiraCosta College, welcome. I have heard MiraCosta referred to as a jewel of North County, and I think with a sunny shining on it, it's just going to sparkle all that much more. So we welcome you.
So I do agree. We have a very, very bright future ahead of us. We've got lots of work to do. We've got the right people in the right places to do that work. So thank you for the warm welcome, and thank you, MiraCosta College.
Really well done.
Aren't we the lucky ones? We're at the end of the program, but before we leave today, I want to take another moment of personal privilege. Over the last 7 months, I have worked very closely with very special people who have done wonderful things to lead the things that had to happen at this institution. I want to give a shout out to Dr. Mary Bernard, my colleague, the Vice President of Instruction, to Charlie Ng, our Vice President of Business and Administrative Services, And to Dr. Wendy Stewart, who is returning to her Dean of Counseling and Student Development position after doing an amazing job as the Interim Vice President of Student Services. Thank you very much. And thanks to all of you for being part of this joyous celebration on this wonderful new, sunny day. Please join us at a reception and for refreshments right next door in the concert hall, and our student ambassadors will be outside to lead you there should you have a need for wayfinding. Thanks again.